Hey everybody, George Zimney here with Zeal Financial Group. Today we're going to be talking about the prospecting database utilizing Reference USA and A to Z database. So pull out something to take notes on and let's just get this thing kicked off. Welcome to the prospecting database training. All right, let me turn the webcam off here. We'll get right into it. Okay, so step number one, and most of you have already done this, but step number one, you're going to join your or a nearby or local library that offers either Reference USA or a resource called A to Z database. It's a free library resource, but you have to be a library member to have free access to this resource. So simply make a phone call to your local library, ask them if they have Reference USA or A to Z in their resource department. If they don't, then you need to figure out a way to get into somebody else's local library so you can get a library member number and get access to that. And you can see down here, this is the Daniel Boone Regional Library, which is a library that's local in my community in Columbia, Missouri, covering most of Boone County. And all I do to access the reference database, which in this case, Daniel Boone offers Reference USA, all I do to access it is I get into their website, I go to the Reference tab, I click Databases, and then it asks me for my library card number. I input my library card number, and I move on. So this is what you're going to do every single Friday. So for on an ongoing basis to map out and get your week set up prior to the start on Monday. Okay, so after I enter my library number and click Go, it takes me straight to the Reference USA database. And this is the home screen. This is the main screen that you'll see. A to Z database is absolutely almost identical to this. So I'm going to walk you through Reference USA today, but all of the tabs and buttons are the same or are very similar on A to Z database if that's what your local library offers. They're just in different places with a slightly different format. It's a different company. It's a different website. But follow along through Reference USA. You'll be able to feel your way through when you get into the A to Z database. So the first thing I do, next to the green arrows, I click on U.S. Businesses. And then I click on Custom Search. So the Custom Search gives me the ability to create filters so I can narrow down to the specific area, size of business, or type of business that I'm looking for as I'm developing in my market. So click Custom Search. This is the next screen, and we're going to look at both verified and unverified businesses. So you want to click on both of those. And then on the left-hand side, these are all the filters that allow us to customize our search. And I'm going to walk you through the different filters that we're going to use today and that you'll use on an ongoing basis to yield the types of businesses that you're going to start prospecting that will make up the bulk and the majority of your prospecting, throughout each and every week. So just to put it in perspective, when I did just playing around, so over time I've obviously been using Reference USA for a little while and have spent a lot of time learning and understanding it as a resource. And one of the times that I created some filters, I looked at all of the agricultural businesses, both crop as well as livestock in the state of Missouri. And I looked at verified and unverified, and what it yielded was over 7,000 livestock and crop, which pretty much encompasses the entire agriculture farming community. So what we'll say is there's over 7,000 businesses in the state of Missouri that are identified as agriculture or farms. And so just to put it into perspective, that's just one business niche, and there are over 7,000 of them. Imagine if our entire organization focused just on the farming community. It would take us 10 years to get to all 7,000 farmers. And for those of you on the call that have been with the organization, that have been in the industry for a while, you know that one of the best prospects that we have, one of the strongest customers or clients of our policies in the business community are farmers. And they usually, in many cases, they will pay an annual premium payment. They'll give you cash sometimes for an entire year of premium on the spot, and they keep the policy for a lifetime. So Very strong business. That's, again, just as an example. Over 7,000 farms when you get into the database and you start searching around. Okay, so that's just a side note. So the next thing after we click on the verified and unverified businesses, we're going to click on the business type. So now we're going to start to create some custom filters. And you can see here, anytime you create a filter, it leaves the previous filter on the main page. So we have the record type, and now we have the major industry group. So we're going to click on major industry group within business type. You can be a little more specific later on with certain search keywords. This is where you can type in a specific industry niche like hair salons or construction companies. It'll pull up all the sub-industries within that niche. You can narrow it down a little more specifically, but what we're doing, your job as a professional is to develop within a specific geography, within a specific market. And you all know that you're not limited to that market. You can sell to anybody and everybody in any market. But for you to be most effective and efficient with your time, you want to do it within more of a specific geography, a community or a county, and you can grow and expand from there. So we're going to look at major industry groups because our objective as we filter this through is to get in front of every business owner that has 20 or 10 or 5 or less employees, because these are individuals that can make decisions when we sit down with them. We get to the decision maker, we get to the person of influence without having to go through a bunch of gatekeepers and filters to get to them, because the businesses of 20 or 10 or less, especially the businesses of 5 employees or less, usually when you walk in, you're greeted by the business owner or a family member that works for the business owner or with the business owner. Those are the type of people we're after until we build our client base and our referral base, and then we can start to look at getting our foot in the door of the bigger business opportunities and those bigger future enrollments. But we're going to start with putting food on your table, protecting a lot of small business owners, and then we'll build and grow from there. Okay, so we're going to click on major industry group. And you can see it pulls up all these different options. And I'll show you in the next slide some of the options that I chose. So within these options, there are sub-options. Within the sub-options, there are more sub-options, as you can see here and here. If you click on this little plus, it'll open up a whole other category of sub-options. But I can show you here, as I take you through this example, exactly what I clicked on. And so I clicked on all the agriculture, all the construction companies, because most of them are small, independent, sole proprietor type construction companies, all the finance, insurance, and real estate companies. A lot of real estate brokers are 1 or 2 individual companies. The personal services, business services, auto repair, and then the legal services. So I only clicked on about 1/3 of the total enterprise or niches within the business community that we can click on. And you can see it highlighted by this giant green arrow. So you'll click on those that you, at this point, you want to click on most of the categories within your community. Okay, so moving on. So we have now identified the record type, the major industry groups, or the business type, and now we're going to filter out or filter in the geography. So we want to figure out what location are we going to be prospecting. In this scenario, this example, I chose county. You can choose city, you can choose a metro area within a city, you can choose zip code. One of the best places for most of you to start is going to be a, let's see, radius. If you click on radius, you can type in a zip code or an address and then tell the filter how many mile radius from that address or that zip code you want it to search. And so if you're in Marshall, Missouri, and you're Darren Lastly, and you're really investing a lot of time in getting your brand and your name out there and writing a lot of business in a 10-mile radius of the city center of Marshall, because you know you can be most efficient with your time if you don't go too far out, because you're not going to be driving 20 minutes this way and an hour that way just to get to 1 or 2 prospects or demos. So you want to work in a 10-mile radius of a specific address or area. You can click on the radius button and find all the businesses that meet your criteria that you're going to be prospecting for the next many years, many months to many years within that specific radius, and build from there. For this example, I chose county, so I put the state of Missouri. I put Saline County, Missouri. And this is the last filter that we're going to use in this example that I want to teach on. So we have the different filters here. Here we have the county or the geography. And now we're going to do the number of employees. And that's the business size. So you click business size, choose number of employees. In this filter, I highlighted 1 through 10. You click on each one. So 1 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 19. So this is going to filter and show me all the businesses that have between 1 and 19 employees. The next step, let me backtrack. The next step, we're going to zoom in and highlight this little section of the page. And this step is very simple. You click on Update Count, which is right here in blue. And what this does is it updates based on all the filters you just provided. It shows you how many businesses, which is identified right here, there are based on the geography, the business size, verified and unverified, and the different types of businesses that you chose. There are 875 businesses of 19 or less employees, mostly in Saline County, which encompasses Marshall, Missouri, and some of the smaller surrounding communities. So it shows you how many businesses are available. The next thing you click on is View Results, and this takes you to a new page. The View Results page actually allows you to view the results. And so the step that we're going to take on this page, the action item for this page, is you now have all the businesses in alphabetical order. There are multiple pages, it shows 824 in total. What you do now is you click on this little check box, and this will highlight or check all the businesses on this page. Then you click Next, and then you'll click that check box again. You'll hit Next, and now you're scrolling through different pages of all these businesses that you filtered through. And you're highlighting multiple pages of businesses. The next step is you click Download, the download button. This is going to take you to the next screen, and we're almost finished. The next screen shows some pre-selected items, comma, delimited, which is your file format, just leave it the way it is. Summary is pre-selected, leave that the way it is, and then click Download Records. So the only action item on this page, all you have to do is simply click Download Records because these two items are already pre-selected. So now you're going to download the records, and it will download into a file that looks like this. And it's kind of small here, but what it shows over here on the left-hand side is the business name, the owner or the manager's first and last name, their city, their state, their zip code, a bunch of information that is not important. So all I did was I highlighted these and I clicked delete. So I'm going to delete the information that I don't need to print out because I want to try to print this all on one page wide. It'll be multiple pages deep, but one page wide. It shows you the phone number, it shows you how many employees they have, and what type of business they are. And that's all the information you really need. So I delete the columns that don't matter. And then your final action is to print the document. Once you print the document, so I just obviously highlighted what it looks like to print it. So I go to File, Print, click the Print button. Once you print the document, you're going to take that document of all these new business prospects, and you're going to now input them and bring them into your Sales Navigator app on your iPad. And that, folks, is the training for Reference USA and A to Z databases. The next step for you is to watch and take notes on the Sales Navigator training. And after you've done that, you're ready to start taking action, implementing this new system, and growing your business. So thanks for listening and watching today. Have a wonderful day and make today count. We'll talk to you soon.